recent alumni, and we may still have one more who may join us a little bit later. What I want to do first of all is just thank you guys all for being here. We're going to have some good conversation. I have some questions for them, but I really want you guys to feel free to ask questions of them. Okay, they're here to really share their experiences, both of how they have benefited from their time at ISU and what things benefited from them, and then also the transition from college to career and what are some of the things that helped them while they were here. Okay, so take advantage of all three of them. They all three are doing completely different things and a varied background. So there's lots of different opportunities. Okay, so actually I'm going to start with Christina. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, and then maybe tell what year you graduated, with what degree, where you're working now, tell a little about the company, what you're doing, that kind of stuff. Okay.
Well, my name is Christina Elliott. I am a product of Scott College of Business, management degree. I graduated in the summer of 2016, and I've taken up a couple of different employments since graduating in 2016. I am employed through the ARC of Vigo County as a direct care staff member, and I can get into a little bit more of that later as far as how it fits me personally and professionally. But one of the areas that I'm employed in through the ARC of Vigo County is working as part of a staff member with my brother. So actually it's very close to home for me. But also I work with Ross Elliott Jewelers, the jewelry store in town. So.
Awesome. Tanisha, would you like to go next?
Of course. Hi everyone, my name is Tanisha Thompson. I am a recent graduate. I graduated in May, and I work for Purdue Farms. So how many of you guys know about Chick-fil-A, Subway? Yeah, that's us, you know. So you receive your turkey from us. I work at the turkey facility. I've been working there for only 3 months. I am an operation manager trainee, which means I go around each department and I learn the department. And eventually I'll become a supervisor in one of those departments or something else.
All right.
How you all doing, everyone? My name is Kahari Jones. I'm a recent graduate of ISU. Just graduated in May. I'm a current grad student at St. Mary of the Woods, studying Master of Leadership Development with a concentration in nonprofit. I'm currently a PE teacher at Sarah Scott Middle School, so that's pretty fun. And I'm the VP of Urban Social TV at a media company.
Fantastic. And last but certainly not least, yes?
So I'm Jesse Allen. I guess I'm older now than crew. I graduated in May 2015 from here, information technology background. I work for Cummins Inc. If anyone knows about Cummins Inc., it's a engine business. We manufacture and sell engines, components, power generation sets. I absolutely really don't know too much about engines, but I did find a career there being an IT business analyst.
What does IT business analyst mean?
I guess it really depends on what place you go to. For me, it means being that tweener between the business side and the technology side. So the business side may have questions, may want changes into their applications. I'm supposed to support them and also be that translator between the business and the technology side.
Okay. Do we have any college technology majors in here? Okay, 1, 2. Okay, so I'm gonna continue on with this. And like I said, if you guys have questions, please go ahead and jump in. But one of the questions I have for you is because of the fact you have to work with both sides of the company. One of those big things that you have to work on is obviously communication, right? A huge thing. So talk to me about, or talk to them about how the classes or the organizations or some of those type of things that you've been in while you were here help prepare you with some of your different skills that you need in your job. Communication being one of them, obviously.
Well, for me, I think for any major, it didn't hit me till later, but I really had to start focusing on what I really wanted to do in my career. Too many times I went to school, went to class, and I made about straight A's almost here. And but I would go to class just to get an A, go to class just to pass the test, make sure my homework was done on time. For me, I started deciding that, hey, I need to figure out what my real world career was going to look like. So I stopped going to class worried about getting that A. Start, I guess, putting my focus more towards what real world job can I get? How can these skills I get from this class actually translate into a real world opportunity? So I just started focusing more into my career and stopped worrying about, if I get an A or not. I still reached that success because I became more eager about my classes, and I think that kind of helped me out the most. So it's really just about, I'm not just saying get B's or C's if you can get an A, but it's really about taking time to kind of dissect yourself away from worrying about the grade and worrying about your career.
I think with what he said, it definitely mirrors my own experience and what I took away from especially the latter portion of my time at ISU was it's good to live in the now, but also to bring yourself out of now and say, well, I'm not always going to be coming to class. And it's beyond the semester, beyond your performance within the semester. So as much as you can live in the now, you definitely plan for the future while you're attending classes and while you're attending workshops and panels. So thinking ahead and trying to think of anything else to add quickly to that my statement. It's just pursuing more than just your everyday routine each day. There's always something that you can do, whether it's attend these events or take up volunteer opportunities. One thing that I picked up from my friends while I was at Indiana State was that sometimes we don't know why we are in certain places, why we attend a workshop beyond the class requirement, and you've got to make purpose to everything that you attend and to everything that you do while you're at college. If I can share anything as a takeaway today is just take it out and find purpose in everything that you do here.
I can definitely piggyback off that. I think the biggest thing for me was I learned more outside the classroom than I did inside the classroom. Getting involved on campus kind of helped me grow my leadership in many different ways. And always taking up on networking opportunities, and always like getting a number, contact information, and doing the follow up. That was the biggest thing for me while I was here.
Okay.
And first of all, they almost covered everything,
Right.
so that was excellent from these guys. But what I must say is just like they say, communication is key. If you know someone says, "Oh, I'm not a people's person," there is no such thing as you're not a people's person, because anytime you're doing business with anyone, you're a people's person. So that's why they say, like, get out there in the community, engage with people, network with people. It's very handy. And I know my professors, they demanded that we were out there networking. And also, it's an event here at the Career Center. Anything they have to offer you guys, I really do suggest you guys take that into consideration, because it's going to help you in the long run. And then you're going to be up here talking next like, hey, this helped us out. So that's why we're here to give you guys real world examples, because we was just in y'all shoes like a couple of months ago. So that's like I said, communication is very key. Networking and just getting out there will definitely help everyone in this class.
So all right, so you brought up networking a second ago. So maybe talking about, because a lot of times when people think networking, it has to be like a formal thing, right? It has to be at the career fair, or it has to be at our alumni networking night. It has to be at something that's official. Can you maybe talk about some of the different opportunities where you've had an opportunity to network with people that have been important to you in your future career and your future and your growth outside of those official areas?
Absolutely. Even when like just my professor. The reason why I'm in grad school is because of my professor. All we was doing was just catching up. We became like a mentor slash. That was our relationship. So we just have a lunch off conversation up in the generations, and then the opportunity came up. So even just having a natural conversation with people can turn into a networking. So always be thinking networking, even if you're having just a basic conversation in a sense. So I don't think just because you're at like events like this is the only time you network. You network at social events as well.
How many of you know the person next to you? Okay. For those of you who don't know the person next to you, this is an opportunity for you to introduce yourself. Networking doesn't have to be an official thing. It could be just events just like this, okay, where you just turn to the next person next to you, because you never know how that person may know someone that may know someone that will help you in the future, right? I mean, we can all tell stories about the people that you know that know people have gotten you so much further down the road than anything else.
Yeah, I can give you guys an example. So for Purdue Farms, okay, I'm from Chicago, so I don't, when you say Purdue Farms, I'm like, okay, chicken. That's nice. You know, so I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. My goal is to work in the automotive industry. And Miss Teresa, back there in the back, she was like, yeah, Tanisha, did you see Purdue Farms out there? And I was like, yeah. So she was like, did you go talk to them? Because they were looking for operation managers. And I'm like, no. So first things first, don't be judgmental to any job. Because honestly, that was the best networking experience that I have encountered, because I love my job. I love working for Purdue Farms. And she knew Brenda Didasco there, and they called her and asked her, how's Tanisha here? And my dress to work at Pizza Hut as well as the Career Center here at Student Employment. And like they said, just networking and putting your best foot forward, the best that you can do. Like they said, like, it doesn't matter how old they are, how young they are, just still, it's good to have someone to know who you are, you know what you stand for.
I just came across networking opportunities just being on the elevator, quick small talk. So don't ever be, some people be like, you never know who you're talking to. They be so opposed, like, I don't know this person, I ain't talking to them. And then you missing your opportunity to network. You know, so.
So one question with networking, for example, I'm going to be a graduating senior in May, trying to find a job. And my sister, I told her that I want to work at, just say company A, and she's like, oh, my friend's dad works there. So how would you guys approach then reaching out to like someone that you don't necessarily know that you're gonna try to build that networking with? What email do you send them? What do you say when you call them? How do you approach that?
You know what? I'm more so the person. I like that face-to-face communication. So I would say go up there, because that shows them, oh, he's in school right now, and he came all the way out here to see if he can get an internship or can he get a job. That shows them that you are persistent, that you're serious about this. So I would definitely say go up there.
Yeah, for sure. I never like send emails first. I send an email. Sometimes they ask for a formal email later, but they already know who I am. When you send an email, you give them too much time to think about it. So I'm just a person, I like put the pressure, I'm gonna pop up on you.
That's the impression. They can make the best first impression is them knowing you by seeing you, because if you just send an email out and then express interest that way, they really can't hear through your tone and through your demeanor that you're really interested in seeking that opportunity. So I think if you do go out there, make the trip, take some time. It takes a little bit more prep work, but it's worth it.
And just remember, they get 100 emails per day, so they might even just look over.
That's true.
And also, if you send an email, I always send it in the morning, so it'll be the first one they see.
Timing of emails is very important.
I can say, well, I do like face-to-face interaction, but I can't say I have sent an email before internally in my company. Basically, I saw a role that was out there, and I was thinking about switching roles before I took a promotion, and I just said, hey, I'm interested in learning more about that role. I'm a current business analyst now. Would you mind meeting up? So I guess overall I was trying to get that face-to-face interaction by suggesting a meetup time. I actually met up with the person, and he was a cool guy, just down there. It was just another person. So that's how I kind of look at it. Yeah, this person may be a manager, maybe a director, but they're still a person. They're still a human being. They still have a boss. So yeah, I just reached out and asked to meet up.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
Other questions?
You guys can ask us anything.
Anything, it don't even matter.
Maybe not everything.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I got a question. So, where you are from?
I'm from Terre Haute.
You from Terre Haute? So
Yeah.
you work in Terre Haute. Where you from?
Over.
Where you work at now?
I work in Columbus and live in Indy.
Okay. I know.
From Chicago.
You work, okay. So, for the people who, like, don't work in their hometown. How did y'all adjust to the move? Because I know like you had to move from Chicago to Vincennes, and I know how stressful it already was. But like you from Hobart, Hobart is the region, and you moved to Indy. So how was that? How was that for y'all?
It was pretty exciting. Moving, I saw the possibility of me not going back home because in the region there's not as many job opportunities. If I wanted to get a solid job, I probably would have had to do the commute to Chicago, something I really wasn't willing to do. So I knew I would probably move. I thought about staying close to Terre Haute since this is the school I was going to. But I saw the opportunity in Columbus, and I said, well, and this seems like an awesome opportunity. And then I saw that I could possibly still live in Indianapolis, a city. I knew a few people, wasn't that close to them, but I just embraced the new opportunity, and I think it worked out perfectly for me. I'm happy I made that decision. It wasn't really, for me, we had a move-in, what do you call that? Relocation package. There you go. We had a relocation package, so that helped me a lot get adjusted.
Well, mine was different. I knew I wasn't going back to Chicago. The taxes was too high, and I said, no, I don't want to be there. My whole entire family is there, and I wanted to be that one that branched out to leave the nest, and I did that. Was it a challenge? Yes, it's a challenge. I'm away from my family, and it's just me out there by myself, but it's worth it. It's worth it because you can always go home, you know, and by me knowing that, I was okay with that. And I still come back and I still see friends that live in Terre Haute, or I'll get on FaceTime with them and see how everyone is doing. But it was a good trip.
And you had a little bit different transition because you came from a big city, Chicago.
Yes.
And where are you now?
No offense to anybody, but I'm in the country. Like there is no bit. Like I don't have a lot of. Look, it's a lot of land. It's just a lot of land, and it's a culture shift, and it was a shock for me because I'm like, okay, I want to go to the store, and you know, in Chicago, you can go to the store at 9 o'clock at night. All stuff is closed by like 7 and 6. I'm like, wait a minute, and I'm just getting off work at 5 o'clock. So it was definitely a culture shift for me and a shock at the same time.
What was the most difficult part of the transition from being, a full-time student and having homework and professors telling you what to do to going to the workplace and kind of having to have more initiative on your part?
Love. It was love, honestly, because when you think about it, by you being a student, you're thinking, okay, I have a homework assignment this week. I have a test coming up. I have to study. I have to do this. I have to do that. But now when you're in a workplace, I feel like it's more calm. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but once you're at work, you're at work. But when you're at home, you're relaxing. That's your getaway spot. So for me, that's what it was. I love it.
I think the hardest transition for me was time management, because now I still got grad school and I got a full-time job as well. So really, I know I can't wait, stay up till like 1 o'clock in the morning no more, and then try to get up at 7:45 to be to school. And I know I can't take quick naps throughout the day like I usually do. So I think that was a big transition. I still try to squeeze it in there, that was probably the hardest one transition.
I think I appreciate nap times more now as an adult than I did when I was in preschool or kindergarten. But whenever you can take a nap and whenever you can relax, I think one of the biggest hurdles that I've crossed since graduating was the fact that now you have the liberty to make your schedule as you see fit. I think that's been awesome, and then that's been challenging for me at the same time. So time is what you make of it. I mean, the same goes for your time here. Even though you're in class, you choose how you sit in class, right? You choose how you participate in class. But your window, your schedule of time throughout the week is really on you after you graduate, and you dictate your free time and everything else. So it's just really important to know how precious time is and make the most of it.
And budgeting. I know they say, you broke out through college and then it's hard to budget, but you really have to budget. Like once you know that you're making, you got a salary now, things of that nature. So you can't just spend money on any and everything that you used to do as an undergrad.
Yeah, I embraced it. I was happy to say I don't have homework. Because I can go to work and leave work at work and not bring it home. So that was a good transition. But to follow on the budget thing, that's important too. Because you get a check in the mail, like, whoa, this is my refund check. But you don't want to just spend it like you did your refund check. You want to take time and manage it, because there's now you're saving for a future. You're paying your own bills if you're not already doing that. You probably got more bills. Life just really gets really surreal when you actually move out on your own and get out of school. So,
Responsibilities kick in quick.
But I don't want to say like it's going to be hard. It's going to be a crazy transition for you. You got to make it fun. People are like, oh man, life of the college is going to be tough. I'm not going to be able to do the same things. I'm like, you still can live it up. I still have fun. I still go to the rec. Me and Shane was just hooping yesterday. It's fun. You still can make the best of it.
So my question is kind of broad. What would be some advice that you would give to people as they approach graduation, as far as just wrapping things up and just trying to make that transition?
Enjoy it. Enjoy the moment. I know when I was here, I wasn't a party person, and at the end of my senior year, I wanted to go out and party and things like that. But you need to enjoy the moment. Don't get stressed out about finding a job or anything like that. That's why it's better for you to take care of your business in the beginning, so when it's time to wrap everything up, you can relax. So I just say, just enjoy it. Enjoy.
I'm gonna try to keep it practical. I'm gonna just say, just lock in. It's gonna the transition gonna be fast. I think what was best for me, I learned from a lot of people who graduated before me. I seen them they graduate and then they was working basic jobs that anybody can get without a degree, and that's because they was partying too much. They senior year got a lot on their plate. So what I did was I put a lot of stuff to the side and I just really buckled in. That's why I had an easy transition. I was able to get in grad school right away. I was able to get a PE position just because I locked in and wrote everything out and executed.
I think as that graduation time nears too, we also we got to be on lockdown, but we also kind of have to break away from the agenda that's assumed of us. I think that's something I've tried to stress with my friends, is that yes, you're supposed to have a job at this point, and yes, you're supposed to be showing your independence at this point, but really everything is on your terms, and don't let this time pressure get to you that everyone seems to assume, well, you have to be on lockdown with the job right now, and with that I actually did something a little bit unorthodox after graduating. I took about 3 months to travel, so really I did not get the lockdown on jobs and everything. I took my time, I slowed down time, honestly, and then started pursuing things, and I feel a lot happier for doing that. I can't recommend that to everyone, and I don't think it is for everyone, but it was something that was important to me and that spoke to me. It didn't mirror everyone's decisions among my graduating class, but it suited me pretty well, and employment-wise, I was able to work out the break, so it worked out. And I'm grateful for that time. I'm grateful to say I've had that experience. So break away from the agenda and the timeline, the assumed things that you're supposed to be doing even a year or two after you graduate. That stuff, I guess, being here on this side of the table now, it's like it's up to you and how you pursue your career opportunities and what's important to you. So hopefully that's something that you can take away as being helpful to you.
And just real quick, just to piggyback off that, self-care was key as well. I was just so caught up. That's one thing I did do a lot. I wish I would have did was self-care. Take time to just give time to yourself and focus on just what you got to do, and don't even think about that stuff. Take an hour a day, maybe 2 hours, just to really relax, exercise.
Yeah.
I definitely say, definitely enjoy going back to that. Enjoy it, appreciate it. Take in the moment that, hey, I'm graduating from college. Some of you may be the only person in your family who's graduated from college, so definitely, I say, definitely realize that you actually have an accomplishment right here, is graduating from college. But if you do want a job right away after college, you can't wait till May 13th or whatever the graduation date is to start really getting serious about it. You really want to prepare ahead of time, see what you really want to do, and actually take in consideration anywhere. Don't just limit yourself. As you were saying earlier, how was the transition of moving? It wasn't bad. Don't limit yourself. Just go after whatever you want.
As far as those practicums, how did those, I guess, inspire like your future careers and things like that?
So if you guys had practicums or internships or job shadowing, any of those types of things, because some majors don't require practicums. So if we can look at practicums or internships or any type of those, any type of those type of things.
I can go. I actually did a practical on my senior year, and it felt right away because I had to work with kids, and then now I'm working with kids again. So I'm just basically using everything I did for internship, and then applying to the school I was at. So that definitely played a huge factor in what I was doing in my career.
For me, like I said, I used to work here at the student employment desk, and I didn't have an internship, but I also was certified in my green belt for process improvement. So what I did was I implemented a new process with my team here, and we focused more so on our active students to cut their waiting time. So on average, a student will wait probably 1 minute and 45 seconds for those who had already worked on campus. This is just for us to process their student. And we didn't like the process, it took too long. So we were thinking like, what can we do? We brainstormed, what can we do? So we changed the process, and long story short, they no longer work like 1 minute and 40 seconds, they only wait 30 seconds to get processed. So just by doing that project or getting certified, I am now able to apply for my job just offered me a new position to be the continuous improvement manager. So just by any project that you do big or accomplish, you make sure you tell them that in interviews, because that's going to help you stand out. So they no longer have to look out and find someone who was a continuous improvement manager, who was certified. And they say, oh, Tanisha's already certified. Well, not, let's bring her up. So that's the new position I am walking into just because of that.
For me, my experience was I did not have a practicum. I honestly didn't even participate in an internship. My biggest experiences that enabled me to take on the work that I have now and to pursue things that I currently am have actually been through my senior business course experience, the Business 401. I did consulting with the Mies Center, and I'm still in touch with a lot of people through that professional development service and through the offices at Scott College of Business. A lot of my mentors are still there because of my consulting experience through that project that I was a part of. I was a project team leader, so I took on a significant leadership role that enabled me to say, hey, this is beyond the grade. That was a project that it was beyond the A, that I took on the experience. Also, although I did not take up an internship, which was pretty shame on me, honestly, but for walking away from ISU without doing that, but I took up a lot of volunteering. I volunteered with Rethink, the green nonprofit in town. I volunteered with Catholic Charities. I became a member of State Rotaract while I was still a senior, and through all those experiences, it enabled me to get in touch with a lot of people through the community, because one of my professional pursuits is to better my community. Maybe ISU instilled a bit of that with me. The community service drive. If I hadn't had that requirement, I maybe requirement through class, because one of my Business 200 classes, business ethics class, required me to take up volunteer hours. And I mean, I'm guessing everyone here has taken up those required hours of volunteering, correct? I mean, hopefully. Shame on you, Kevin.
You volunteered while you're on campus.
Yeah.
Okay, of some kind.
If there's another takeaway that I can bring home to you guys today, is that take seriously those volunteer opportunities. ISU is very community driven, community service driven, and through the community engagement department and through global engagement, those are two programs I can speak highly of because of my experiences through them, that I'm still in touch with them today, and I still try to connect my fellow Sycamores to them. That way, when I see opportunities that mirror something that I see in a friend as being important to them, or being parallel to the career path they're wanting to follow, then I say, hey, let's look at that opportunity. So although it's not the traditional practicum, it's the volunteering, the program engagement that I did that really made my experience worthwhile even now.
Yeah, I actually didn't have an internship or school practicum even. We can relate there, and I also feel the same as you that I kind of wish I did. So I'm not saying I didn't here, but it was a class as well in the business building, but it was management information systems. Basically, I got a hands-on class. We had to do a project for our fraternity. We were building a database application, so I had to go do like meetings, interview our client, quote unquote, see what they actually wanted for their application. So I would take those details, collaborate with the team, discuss, go back, get more details, collaborate, give a design, and start really using hands-on skills. So that's really what helped me. It kind of helped me learn that, yeah, this is the direction I really want to go into. Not to shortcut any internships or school practicums. They're good. They're able to allow you to see if this is actually a field that you want to go into. I think also just to add on, like, what can you do to help yourself? Having a good resume, I would just say that having a good resume is that'll lead you to a lot of good places. If you have a good resume and you know how to communicate about your resume, and that can open up many doors for you. And make sure you put those projects or those if you did 15 hours in business operation management or something like that, you want to put that on your resume, not just put Indiana State.
I can't stress that enough, is putting your pride on your resume and putting your accomplishments on your resume that really speak to you, because I think if one thing really changed about me from 2013 when I enrolled into ISU, I was a transfer, by the way. So how many transfers here in the room? Sweet, okay. Because I think that was something that actually helped me with my senior course experience project, was that I was trying to do work that spoke to transfers and international students. That's still something that's pretty important to me, is to kind of include everyone in the student scope. And how they can get in touch with campus regardless of whether they're transfer, international, or where their background is. But just kind of lost track of my thought there. But I was trying to say the resume, the idea that the bullet points that I had put together fall 2013 to fall 2016, my senior year, when I was about ready to graduate, they became more meaningful. If you look at your resume and you see a little bit of gibberish, to put it nicely, and you can't really, because if someone's looking at your resume for the first time and they speak on a bullet point that really doesn't speak to you, then why is it on there? I think personally. Hopefully that is true with what career services would say too, but your resume is a reflection of you. The documents that you forward, your business card is a reflection of you. So make sure that those documents really speak to you, and make those projects that you put on your resume worthwhile. They're not just that project that you were a part of, but it was something that you put some sweat into, put some thought into.
One of the things I want to point out is, so we have one person who did an internship, one person who had student employment, one person who volunteered quite a bit, it was very important, and one person who talked about the applicable stuff that they got out of class. So you notice how all four of them talk about different experiences, and all four of these types of different experiences are all opportunities for you that you have available to you throughout your time here. And so they've all taken different paths, and they're all successful. And so that's one of the things, that there's not just that one clear cut, you must do X or you must do Y. There's multiple opportunities, and that's one of the great things that I think that they've just stated, is with your resume, you have opportunities, whether or not it is an internship, whether or not it's in class, whether or not it's volunteering. There's opportunities across the whole spectrum to highlight achievements, that are reflective of you, that employers will want to see. Definitely. What other kind of questions do you guys have? Oh, yes ma'am, sorry.
How many of you had a job right out of college, like when you graduated? And if you didn't, how long did it take you to find that job that you were looking for?
Good question.
Go ahead. No, you gotta go ahead.
Well, I graduated in May. I went back to the culture center to work that summer, and I had a job in fall. She said, so how long did it take? A summer, basically. That's about it. And it was a connection that I had built from volunteering. So the PE teacher that I'm working, the school I'm working for right now, I was volunteering for the last 2 years. So it was like she slid me right in there just because she knew me already. So that just goes back to the last one, volunteering.
For me, I received my job offer in May, and by June 19th, I was working. So I had a month off to go out. I went on a cruise for the first time, like she said, traveling. I did that, and I was able to relax because I knew once June 19th came, I was going from there. Like, it was work. So it didn't take that long.
Tanisha, can you say how long you started applying for jobs though? Like when you started?
Okay, so okay, y'all bear with me. So I was the one that procrastinated, right? It was my senior year, and I was blessed to have like a good staff behind me, working here and just having friends and family to motivate me. Because they asked me, Tanisha, did you apply for a job? I'm like, yes. Then so somebody apply for a job, and so I'm like, okay, I really do need to apply for a job. So, so I started applying for my jobs, and I was getting denied left and right because they were saying like, oh, you don't have experience. I'm like, oh, I've been in college for the last 4 years. Yeah. So, no, I didn't have that experience, but like I said, that strong resume that I was able to build just by doing everything that I was involved with at ISU. It took a while. Like I said, I went to the career fair. That's how I got my job, actually.
The next one's February 21st.
Please go. Take those serious, you guys. I'm trying to tell you.
Do your homework on them before you go. Don't
do.
show up and not know who you're going to be speaking with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But long story short, it takes a long time. It takes a long time to really get that job because you're going to get denied left and right, and you can't give up. You can't give up at all. But it took a minute. It was like a month, 2 months.
I know you at least had some in like November and December.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got offered a position at Amazon to be a district manager, actually. And they offered that position. They told me they was going to get back with me in January. Didn't hear from them till May. Yeah, so I was a little upset about that. They was like, oh, we're going to look, it's okay. We're not going to look into your application right now, or however they said it. And I said, okay, fine. And then I started to Purdue, and I applied for that job, and Purdue took me on. Then Amazon gave me a call back and was like, are you still interested? I said, no, thank you. I'll be working for Purdue. Thank you. Sorry, that was true. Because my time is precious just as well as theirs is. So you don't settle. Don't settle.
In your I guess pursuing your job, like in your job interview, what questions did you have for your future employer?
What questions did I have for them?
Like in general, like what questions like should we be seeking for in a future job? Like, as far as benefits, how can my degree be applied to what I'm doing now? What type of questions would you have?
I think it's not being afraid to ask those questions. The questions that really are to the core of how seriously or how long you're going to be with them, and kind of addressing your commitment and drive to be with them is asking those questions, because if you're going into an interview, and hopefully this mirror or kind of emulates what these guys might say, but it's just asking the questions that are really on your mind instead of saying, no, I don't have any questions. I think when we become too reserved in those moments, we're really not benefiting them or ourselves. So asking the questions that really get to the bottom of business, essentially.
I was gonna say, I always tell them thank you, looking forward to the opportunity. That's what I always tell them. And then research the company or whatever before the interview, just so you can have because the question is gonna ask. So make sure you have a question in store.
Yeah, and what I did, I asked a lot of questions, honestly. Like I said, I came from a big city to a small, country area. So I I had to ask questions. I asked them, what's your culture like here? Because, I'm gonna give you guys an example. You know how we dress up our presentations and everything, and you know you want to look professional at all times. Well, that's the mindset that I had because that's what I've been taught. And so I give my first presentation to my boss, and I'm the only one dressed up. Everybody else they have jeans on, they have the cowboy boots on. And I'm like, okay, this is not the right attire for this. So, like I said, you just need to know like the culture and make sure that you feel like that you will be comfortable. Because you don't want to work for a company you're not going to be comfortable with. But because I don't mind getting out of my comfort zone, I like learning new things. That's why I was able to, okay, partake. Well, I don't have to dress up like this all the time. Well, hey, go buy me some boots.
Definitely you want to prepare with questions, but don't try to ask questions that you really don't have. That's another thing. So try to keep it pertaining to whatever opportunity you're looking for. So maybe that question is, do you have any mentorship opportunities? Or maybe that question is, what's the average workday look like? Or is there a set amount of responsibilities that we do daily? And then there's also project work. Just try to ask questions directly related to what questions you actually would have. I feel like one thing, yeah, because you can go online and you can figure out what the right question is, but it may not even be applicable to your interview. So I kind of approach the interview as I'm interviewing them as well as they're interviewing me. So whatever questions I really have, I just get them off my chest.
What kind of questions do you guys have? Yes, ma'am.
What surprised you the most with that transition from student to graduate? What surprised you? I'm like, ooh, this isn't what I thought it would be.
Just how much you gotta, just for me, my position, just how much I really gotta be involved in the kids' lives. You know, how much they gonna look up to you. You know, like they think I'm the coolest PE teacher in the world. And it's like, man, I really gotta, you know, have a heart for these kids, and I do. So I think that was surprising as well. One of the surprising things for me.
A surprise for me. Everything was a surprise to me being out there. What was a surprise to me? Come back to me. Let me think.
I can think, just reflecting on it after you asking the question simply, I mean, a few things surprised me, but probably one thing that surprised me most is that I picked up a couple different employments. One of my main employers was also through the local swim club here. I grew up in competitive swimming, and so I was an instructor and a competitive level swim coach for a while. And it's finding surprisingly a lot of similarity, although I was not in a profession or in work lines that related to my major or my degree background. So business management major at the pool deck. Well, you know, what am I doing at the pool deck? I was a little bit discouraged by that because that was my employment right after school, was continuing the same work that I had done, and then you know, taking time to travel. You know, they allowed me to do that. It was a great opportunity, but it was finding the surprise in how I could use my degree and use my business background in whatever pursuit I was in. So whether I was at the pool, I remembered my leadership and organization classes. I remembered how I could organize my documents through the IT courses that I took at Scott College. And then even through volunteering, I picked up project ideas through my volunteer opportunities that, you know, maybe it was going to be difficult for me to find how to connect my career or my education background to my employment background. So that kind of surprised me, is that anything that I picked up after graduating, I found ways to work in what I had learned through school.
Well, I guess how real it gets and how the bills, it seems like the bills just, they climb up out of nowhere. So I guess, and work-life balance and caring about things you didn't think you would care about. So after school, some people may have that mindset, yeah, I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna make money, I'm gonna work and build my money up until I have a family and kids. If you don't have that, Work-life balance is very important. Even if you work 8 to 5, 8 to 4 every day, work-life balance is important, and you have to learn how to keep work at work and allow time for your personal life. So for me, I guess my biggest surprise in a way is how much I actually value work-life balance and all the bills that just seem to come out of nowhere.
So actually that brings up a good point. I think that's one of the things that is super important that maybe a lot of people don't know how to do is do that work-life balance. Can you guys give them maybe some suggestions on how to have, and maybe you guys are still trying to figure some of that out as well. I mean, we all are some days, right? But how do you guys handle work-life balance, and what kind of recommendation would you give to them?
I try not to go to work, come home, and get on the couch and watch TV. That's one thing I try not to do, because you get caught in a routine, then you're waiting for the weekend, and Monday through Friday sucks. So I try to make Monday through Friday actually like something I actually value. So go to work Monday, maybe you're working out, or maybe you're cooking, or maybe you're going to hang out. Just making sure that you make time and not let life go so fast. When you're working, life goes by so fast. I mean, I felt like 2 years of college, or 2 years after I graduated, I can't believe I'm here right now. I mean, it just goes by so fast. But it's just about taking time, not living for the weekend, realizing there's things you can do. Maybe you're volunteering, maybe you're picking up a hobby. There's things you can do Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, you can also do things. So don't sacrifice your personal life for your work life, and don't sacrifice your personal life all the way to Saturday and Sunday.
I think making the most of your breaks, finding that balance, and also I found what's been helpful for me even as of lately is, although a routine or a work-life balance that I've created in my life recently worked out the past couple months, given my schedule, I've had to reflect on it often to make changes that are appropriate. So I adjust my sleep schedule. If I'm learning anything after graduating, it's that I didn't support a healthy sleep schedule while I was in college, and I think that's something I wish I could have done while I was still in school, because with all the studies out there saying how 7 to 8 hours really is ideal for people our age, or for people in general as adults, it's pretty crucial that you don't sacrifice your energy that way, just by allowing yourself a lot of time for TV, or I've even stepped away from my phone a little bit, and that's made a big difference for me, because I noticed when I was especially early in college, but even towards senior year, I just had this habit of, once I was out of class, I got to my phone or I got on the computer, and that was my my break. But then I realized I got to create different breaks, or the idea of a break needs to be redefined a bit, because if it's really not allowing you to gain energy or to feel better for whatever you got on your plate the next day, that's a little tricky. I think if you're caught up in a routine where you're not recognizing, oh, I'm not really re-energized, or I'm not feeling very motivated for the next day or for Monday, gotta readjust a bit.
For me, actually, I'm gonna answer that surprising question. The surprise I had once I moved to the work industry was, I can say that I changed the culture of my job, because they were so serious at the time, and they get this girl that's just full of joy and smiling, saying good morning, good morning, good morning, every time you turn around, just smiling, and bringing that new energy. They wasn't used to it, so that was a definite surprise to me. And for my balance, how I balance everything out is, like I said, I work in Washington, Indiana, so it takes me like a couple of minutes to get to Vincent's, and I just put on some church music and just relax. That's what I do. That's how I find my balance. That's what I do.
I think just working out. I work out. That's how I find my balance. That's one of my hobbies that I do after work. And I'm still in the transition. Like, I just graduated. I don't got it down packed yet, but so I'm still in that transition to finding my balance. But these past couple of months, I've just been I've been stepping away from my phone, like she said, and taking time to read. Even after you're done with school, don't never try to stop learning. So.
guess one thing is also just no matter if something's not working out for you, maybe you tried something that's taking too much of your time and you're exhausted, still make a way to find that work-life balance. So kind of to your point, your things may change in your schedule. You may have to go a different way, but don't sacrifice trying to find something. Try to find whatever makes you happy outside of work, regardless.
Hari mentioned, even though you graduated, don't stop learning. As you started your new positions, how much learning did you have to do just to know how to do your job?
So you start all the way over. You start all the way over. You know, and that's the good part about it. Like, it doesn't matter, like, what class you in, and you feel like, well, I'm not going to use this material. 9 times out of 10, once you get in that work environment, you will use it again. Because trust me, I was one of them who said that. And I was like, oh, wait, Lord, I wish I would have paid attention in class when they was talking about this. And it's I laugh now, but I got it down pat. But it's, like I said, it's brand new. It don't feel like if you don't get something now, just know once you get to that job, they have to teach you. Because they know they don't expect you guys to know everything. That's why you guys are teachable. That's why you guys are coachable. Because they want you not to know, so they can teach you and help you build a new character, build something new to who you are. So
sometimes they will just throw you to the wolves. That's what I was just thrown to the wolves. Like, it's your first day, the kids are in there, so just be able to learn on the go sometimes. It's not always not going to be no proper orientation, just because they got a lot of things going on and stuff. So don't be scared if you got to just get thrown to the wolves sometimes. And that's how I learned anyway. I was like, the kids were telling me stuff, I had to do it first. I'm like, yeah, what time you gotta get up? So be able to be flexible and just have a quick learning mentality, have a growth mindset.
Yep.
I think some of my favorite educators and mentors from ISU enabled me to think that way, that learning goes beyond the classroom. Some of my best, like for example, some of our best learning opportunities that we've talked about today seem to have come from outside of the classroom as well. So what I've been doing to continue my learning, although I've looked into pursuing my master's, I actually, one of the reasons why I'm still in town was that I thought I was going to do my master's right away this fall, and I ended up backing away from that decision because I wanted to get a little bit more employment experience. So just kind of testing the waters a little bit here and there and see what opportunities there are. But although I'm not taking my master's, I'm kind of looking into online education, or I kind of am. I'm enrolled in like 9 different classes right now. So I find it pretty important. I'm actually in some programs that I can add to my resume through certification, and they're not necessarily, like one of them is a neurolinguistics class, something that I found kind of interesting that I thought would be neat to add to my diploma or to my resume no matter where I work, because I work with people with special needs, with intellectual needs, and then I also work with children. One of my other employment options currently is private coaching. So although I'm not employed through the pool that I was working, or the program that I was working with here in town, I still do private coaching. So I'm finding professional routes and also educational routes that, although I didn't take up the master's right away, which I would love to eventually, it's just not in the cards right now, but it's kind of learning beyond the scope of learning that you started from high school to college, and that's what's keeping me excited as a learner today. And I'm excited to talk with future employer opportunities about that, about how I connected learning beyond the classroom.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important skills. It's just being adaptable and being willing to learn. You learn a lot when you first start your role. You know, there's going to be some things that you probably can't take from your college. Depending on what field you actually go to, you may, just because you have a degree, someone may say, okay, this person's disciplined, even though this person may be a human resource major, we want this person for a project manager role. You never really know. So it's just about being adaptable, being willing to learn, taking your time. Maybe you don't learn everything in your 8 to 9 hour workday. Maybe you want to do some independent learning, so that's also nice, doing independent learning. Just know there's a lot of learning, and you'll never stop learning. So if I teach people and that's been at Cummins 20 years, and I feel like I teach them new things, and they'll also provide back to me. So
awesome. 30 seconds. Any closing remarks? Last piece of advice, greatest piece of advice that you would leave them with?
Well, it's a good, encouraging sign that all of you came here. So continue using your resources here at Indiana State. There's a lot of people that want to see you succeed, so don't take it for granted. Again, be adaptable, be determined, be motivated, and be excited about the opportunities that await you.
To mirror that, it's continue to be optimistic about things, break away from your routine as much as possible, analyze it, make sure that you're doing things to take care of yourself, and to enjoy each day as it comes and goes, because I mean, especially as you near graduation, those days are flying, it seems. Also, network as much as possible. Just everyone around you has a purpose to being around you, and I think if you find interest in what everyone does, it does help you naturally find interest in what everyone's doing around you. It can connect you to either personal, professional connections. So hopefully just seize the opportunities and that stuff.
Mine would be, everyone in here is getting a degree. So don't play yourself short. Know what you stand for. Know what you're capable of doing. Don't give in. Don't settle for anything. Just as bad as that company wants you, or you want that company wants you as well. So don't just give in. Don't settle for anything. And always put your best foot forward. A first impression is everything. And when I tell you it's everything, it's everything. Someone is always watching. Someone is always looking. So make sure you just carry yourself how you're supposed to, and it'll be great.
Y'all said so much, nigga. Y'all so much game. But real quick, just don't be complacent and maximize the opportunities here at ASU. Like, I've been on so many different conferences, I can't even tell you. I've been on at least 10 to 15 conferences I've been here at ASU within 3 years, and I don't got the most money in the world. I studied abroad in Greece. Maximize the opportunities you got here. Like, you know, just connect with these different departments. Don't put yourself in a box.
We didn't really talk about study abroad much, but do study abroad if you can, because one of my favorite experiences from my senior year was taking time to do that. I went with the College of Business and some other departments to Thailand and during the spring of 2016. Wow, that really opened my eyes to exploring other business opportunities and even to my ultimate career goals, which is entrepreneurship. Something I didn't really talk about much today, but entrepreneurship is pretty cool. And now that we picked up a minor through the Scott College, that's something I hope other people take advantage of, because I wish I had. I wish it was available too.
Right. Jesse, Christina, Tanisha, Bahari, thank you guys so much. Make sure if you guys have not signed this, make sure you sign